Who needs to step up and help Bo Nix and the Broncos in the final stretch of the regular season to ensure the Broncos are going to the playoffs? I'll tell you right now. All right, 4 games left for the Broncos. The bye week, it's officially over. They were back over at Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit today. Then they'll be really back on Wednesday of this week to start to put the game plan in for the Colts and maybe even look ahead a little bit at the Chargers. Because remember, they were flexed into a Thursday night football game that will happen on December 19th, not the 22nd. I hope you've got the memo, especially if you planned on traveling to that one. But what players, what position groups need to step up to help Bo Nix and these Broncos down the stretch? Well, first, let's start with Bo. Does Bo need to be better? Can Bo be better? The answer to both of those questions is yes. He has to be better first and foremost, and he can be better. He's gotten better each week. He's gotten better each game. Heck, he's gotten better each possession over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But Bo can be better with his footwork. He's gotten better at those happy feet that we've seen before. He's planting. He's getting a platform. He's throwing off the back foot. That's all been good. But he can be better. He can move the safety or keep a safety still with his eyes and work one side of the field. Again, he's gotten better at it, but by no means is he perfected that skill set. So Bo can be better. Work in the middle of the field, moving safeties to work downfield like we saw in the last game with guys like Marvin Mims. They still haven't connected on one of those Troy Franklin big bombs for a touchdown. That is something that he can get better at. But I want to talk about the guys around Bo Nix. Obviously, you got to start with running backs. Somebody in that running back room has to step up for these Broncos to make a playoff run. And this is the most important part of this, it's the latter part, be a threat going into the postseason. The Broncos continue to play like this and not have a 100-yard rusher and have Bo do the heavy lifting on offense and then let the defense work and do what they do to win games. Yeah, that'll work. And I believe they're a playoff team already. Now, you beat the Colts this weekend. That's going to help a ton. And they should beat the Colts. They're not very good. Their quarterback doesn't make very good football decisions. A guy that's dealt with injuries just welcomes collisions play after play. Not a good look for Anthony Richardson. But Richardson, you beat the Colts this weekend. You're finding yourselves in the postseason. But if you want to be dangerous in the postseason and be one of those teams that nobody wants, maybe even the Bills. We've talked about the Steelers maybe being a first-round matchup. Oh, that would be outstanding and fun to watch. You have to have a running game. That's the first group. And first and foremost, it's running backs. I don't give a dang who it is at this point. You have to give one of these running backs 15 or more carries. That's the number. That's the line in the sand, Sean. I'm drawing it right there at 15 carries. We've seen Javonte. Now, he's on the outside looking at this point with -1 yard on 12 carries in their last 2 games. But he's had a couple of games with 15-plus carries, and he gets you into that 60, 65, 70-yard mark. That's not good enough either. But if the 15 turns into 20, 25, well, then that number turns into 100 as well. So Javonte, that might be one. I think Jalil's the answer. We saw Jalil get 14 carries in the last game and get, north of 50 yards, closer to the number that you're looking for. Jalil can be a guy that you have to commit the carries to the running back. Establish who the hot hand is early. I see it from my seat in the press box or sitting in my underwear on my couch when they're on the road. Who has a hot hand quick? If Javonte dances, that's how I dance, my chair as a running back. He's not feeling it that day. Javonte's not a dancer. He's a north and south guy. If he starts to dance early, he's not it. Pull him out. Let Jalil show. Can Jalil break the outside edge? Can he break one dang shoestring tackle? Well, if he can, that's the guy that needs double-digit carries. I feel way more confident in Jalil McLaughlin at this point than I do Javonte Williams. So first and foremost, it's the running back room. And inside of that room, it's Jalil McLaughlin. Give him the football 15 times, and let's see what that dude can do with the ball and being the workhorse at running back. All right, what's next? I want to say tight ends, but I'd be foolish to do so. I can't talk about the tight ends anymore. Greg Dulcich wasn't the answer. He gone. Lucas Kroll doesn't seem to be the answer. Now, he's still on the team because he can play some special teams. He's made like 2 catches over the last couple of weeks, but nothing big. Adam Troutman, he's a great blocker. I don't even care about that. It's 2024. Tight ends need to catch the football and be able to block, but they can't just be a blocker, and that's what Adam Troutman is. So I'm really hesitant to say the tight ends because, yeah, they can help Bo Nix in these Broncos, but I don't have any real confidence that they're actually going to do that. So what my third and final answer would be, running backs first. It's wide receivers. Courtland Sutton has to continue to be this guy. Courtland Sutton has been, over the last 6-7 weeks, a guy that averages over 90 yards a game, getting close to double-digit catches. I got a lot of faith in Court that he'll be that guy, and he is a reliable option for Bo Nix to lean on as they chase the postseason. But Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, and Devon Vele, they've all had little moments of succeeding, right? Like, obviously, the Marvin Mims 93-yard touchdown pops off. Devon Vele, if he could have just rolled a little bit more, he would have been in the end zone in that last game. But those three gentlemen, they have to continue to stack games together. Marvin's been getting better. It looks like Sean is finding out how to use a guy like Marvin Mims, which is helping out a ton. But Devon Vele, those close twos got to turn into touchdown. Marvin Mims, those all-purpose games of over 100 yards, they got to be much more often than few and far between. And Troy Franklin, those, oh, you're so close to plays, those have to be, hey, I got it done plays. When you get tackled at the 1-yard line, that's got to be a touchdown. When a ball goes through your hands, when Bo drops a dime, that's got to be a catch in the back of the end zone. So Jaleel McLaughlin, first and foremost, that's the man that can help Bo Nix and these Broncos make a playoff push. Number two, it's the wide receiver room. And then in a particular order, Courtland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Devon Vele, and Troy Franklin, each of them elevating their game just a little bit to help out Bo Nix and these Broncos. Those guys do that. Not only are the Broncos going to the postseason, they're a team nobody, not even you, Buffalo Bills, want to face in round number 1. But you got to have those things happen over the course of the next month. All right, you're here. You're hanging out on YouTube. Dover on Denver. I appreciate you doing so, kicking it with us. While you're here, subscribe, hit that like button, and leave some comments. I'd love to be friends with you on YouTube as we're hanging out in the comment section. All right, got to talk about the Buffaloes here. It's official, even though I told you on Dover on Denver a few weeks ago that it would be the Alamo Bowl and more than likely against BYU, and that's exactly what you got. Buffs versus the Cougars in the Alamo Bowl. Big 12 versus the Big 12. Snooze fest. I have no interest in this game. I told you that before. I don't want to see another Big 12 opponent. It stinks. I don't want it. And I definitely don't want Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter playing in a meaningless bowl game. We got to remember in the prime era, the Alamo Bowl in their second year, or are we going to talk about a Heisman, multiple NFL players, multiple first-round players going into the NFL? And I hope at some point we're talking about a college football playoff deep run, and this Alamo Bowl nonsense will be things that we just laugh at in the future. So I hate it. I think that the bowl committee completely missed this, and I have 3 bowl games that the Buffs could have been in and would have been so much more entertaining. All right, first and foremost, it's the Pop-Tart Bowl. Who doesn't love a good Pop-Tart in the morning? Give me a cinnamon sugar, what is it, brown sugar and cinnamon, whatever that is, that Pop-Tart, Matthew, that is it, man. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Miami is playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl, and they're also playing against a Big 12 team. That story writes itself. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, they've already had beef in the past, and you could have put them on the same football field. Complete swing and a miss. Instead, I get Iowa State versus Miami. Once again, who in the heck cares about that? Unless you're a cyclone or a hurricane or maybe a meteorologist to see what those two things do against one another, you don't care about this game. I don't care about this game. It should have been the Buffaloes and the Hurricanes. Again, the story writes itself. Cam versus Shedeur. That would have been outstanding. You freaking ruined that. Next up, all right, well, how about the ReliaQuest Bowl? Yeah, I've never heard of it either. Most of these bowl games are ridiculous. But this involves USC, and it also involves Alabama. USC, they are 6-6. So you're going to want to just watch them get the brakes beaten off of them by Alabama. This is what I really wanted to see. Let's see who these Buffaloes are. Let's see how they stack up against an SEC team. Prime versus Alabama. I mean, once again, I guess we all have to do the work for the bowl committee because they absolutely missed the boat on this one. USC in a bowl game against Alabama, nobody wants to watch that. I don't even think Trojan alumni want to watch that because y'all are in for a very, very long afternoon. And then finally, again, it is an opportunity. Oh, you know what? I screwed that up. It's actually USC in this bowl game against Texas A&M. Same reasons, though. See them against an SEC team. Alabama is in that bowl against Michigan, which might even make it worse because Michigan stinks too. Michigan doesn't even know how to throw the football. And they're playing in a bowl game against Alabama. So let me correct that. It's Michigan versus Alabama. USC is playing against Texas A&M. But it's still the SEC opponent that I wanted to see. Like I said, Big 12 versus Big 12. I just watched a whole season of that. Would the Cougars and Buffs been a good matchup in the Big 12 championship? Absolutely. You're playing for a title. But come on. This Alamo Bowl nonsense, it's not for me. And I just gave you 3 bowls that could have been better. Miami versus CU would have been great. I don't need to see the Hurricanes and the Cyclones. I don't need to see USC and Texas A&M. No, thank you, Aggies and Trojans. And I definitely don't need to see Michigan versus Alabama. Put CU versus Alabama, put CU versus Texas A&M so I can get my SEC CU fix, or just make it easy and put Miami and the Buffs in the Pop-Tart Bowl for the Shedeur Sanders Cam Ward Bowl game. You blew it, and now I don't want to watch anymore. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.